If you played competitive first-person shooter multiplayer in the last decade, you couldn't have missed the Battlefield experience, one of the very best games the genre has produced, with classic titles like Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, and Battlefield 1. Battlefield as a franchise became the new standard for squad-based, objective-centric multiplayer in the 2010s, and 2042 sees those one-of-a-kind experiences return by popular demand, along with some new tweaks and the same old over-the-top destruction. Regardless of the reputation that Battlefield has sustained over the years, however, with the incidental decline of other franchises, the series has earned the acclaim because of its incredible gunplay, game modes involving teamwork, and state-of-the-art level design. But here in 2042, the game has to earn the stripes and ribbons all over again. And in this review, I'm going to focus on what 2042 does well to retain the core formula that so many players enjoy, and of course give you the honest list of fixes and improvements the game must make to reach the status of the series' former glory. To begin with, this is a review of the early access upon launch, so we expect further updates to improve the game and add on to it. But there's also no excuse for a game to launch with so many problems to resolve. There are several design choices and bugs that have to be addressed, such as there being no scoreboard or stat tracking on the game, with no way for anyone to see their KD, win-loss ratio, etc., which makes the game feel like a beta phase, albeit one that costs up to $70 out of pocket and over $100 with the gold edition. This is simply inexcusable and downright dumb, and no multiplayer game can function for long without stat tracking. You should have leaderboards and a detailed scoreboard in plain sight during and after the match. This is an essential feature that is almost completely absent from 2042, which is an odd choice considering that the game gives you a lot of customization for your player card that no one can even see unless they're in your squad or they make the highlights. Once they add this feature back to the game though, 2042 has a lot of replay value. The core mechanics are mostly unchanged. You spawn with a squad of 4 players and look for what trouble you can find with both boots on the ground, in the air, or in vehicles. Strangely, you cannot select your squad or team once being assigned one. You can change squads, but only to join random squads that the game puts you in instead of joining your friends. There are 2 core game modes at launch in the vanilla 2042 playlist, which are Conquest and Breakthrough. Breakthrough being really just operations from Battlefield 1. These maps and game modes are good when the objectives are centralized and you have a concentration of players battling back and forth, but at times it can be difficult to find anybody. And without vehicle transport, you'll spend minutes on end running around with no action because of the Warzone-sized maps with empty space. When you do find the action, there is a lot of chaos and absurdity that keeps you glued to your seat. You feel like you're playing in a real Battlefield. With the Portal Custom Games modifier, you can play classic maps from classic Battlefield games in their original states or crossbreed them with wacky combinations using weapons, gadgets, and characters from other time periods. This brings back both a literal and figurative rush by getting to relive what made Battlefield what it was and still is. This is a way to give the players more choice for how they want to play, but it also sometimes feels like the developers are just saying, we don't have a whole lot of new ideas, so let's just remaster the old games that are good. I do think that 2042 maps and modes are decent, but I'd like to see more game modes and maps smaller in size. Smaller than the large, empty, and open expanses that they've released at launch. Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 feel more close-knit and intuitive, but it is a good way to switch things up when one or more playlist begins to feel a bit repetitive as they inevitably do in a long grind session. In Hazard Zone, you are pitted against squads of 7 and bots as you try to collect data drives and extract them for currency that carries over to your next runs. This is a game mode where teamwork and communication is key and tension is high. It's a fun and fast mode, but they should definitely add more rewards and unique unlocks to keep people interested, because otherwise I'd be spending most of my energy and focus on Conquest, Breakthrough, and Rush. For now, this is the weakest of the 3 main modes that 2042 has to offer. Some other minor fixes that need to be implemented. The spotting system could be a lot better. revive and respawn bugs need to be ironed out, and they could fix the voice chat and kill log not working, as well as the name tags not showing up, which makes it harder to tell if you are surrounded by enemies or friendlies. I don't know why such obvious choices have been neglected in 2042. It seems that the devs are lazy or they just don't pay attention to what works. One cool feature is the text chat, which allows me to troll some people, get feedback, and discuss the game in general. There's plenty of customization for your character and your weapons, and the ability to switch out your attachments provides a plan of attack for all situations. There could and should be more weapons added in seasonal updates. Nothing seems too OP right now, except for the hovercraft, which has to be nerfed, and I don't think you should get permadeaths from vehicles or fall damage, but that's how it is at the moment. There's still some version of the 4-class system, but with operators that each have a unique ability or gadget that can give you the edge depending on the situation. For example, now medics can give you health, armor, and ammo and heal you from a distance. Or on certain maps, McKay's grappling hook allowed me to gain verticality and stealthily pick off enemies without them suspecting me. I think that the operators are a welcome inclusion that offer variety and styles of play. And if you prefer the simpler way of picking a class, Portal has you covered. The revive system feels a lot better than it did in the beta, and you can now smoke bodies to revive them, move circularly to not get shot as much, and use the classic defibs that revive instantly when playing on BC2 or BF3 in the Portal. I'm seeing a lot more randoms go for revives and using teamwork in general, which is a sign that the game will hold the interest of old and new players because it prioritizes playing the objective. Playing on a PlayStation 5, the gameplay was smooth and I did not encounter any performance issues other than the system-wide bugs present in the early access. I put at least 24 hours in on the first 2 days and had fun. 2042 is definitely playable in this launch state, but they must add stat tracking to the game as that is an essential component of play and progression. In this current state, I'd give 2042 a 7 out of 10, a decent game, fine and respectable, and it could easily be an 8 out of 10, maybe even a 9, if they make the necessary adjustments that they should make. I'll be sure to update this review when we see an updated version of 2042. Oh, I killed.
Charles, get out here. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Due to be oh, I just just like direct hit somebody with the RPG. Oh, did you see that? I got look at the kill feed, dude. I got. Just gonna trip. Nice and big. I got him.
Fall back to the next sector.
So many scrubs.